My name is Mark Overmeyer. I'm co-director of the Denver Writing Project, which is part of the University of Colorado at Denver. And I wrote the book, What Student Writing Teaches Us, published by Stenhouse. The idea for the title came actually from a poet named Jake Adam York, who was doing a workshop for the National Writing Project Fellows at the Denver site one summer. And he was leading us through some writing of poetry, but to begin he had us read a poem. And it was a very difficult poem. And so at one point he stopped us and said, "You guys are having trouble, aren't you?" And we said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, if you read a poem carefully enough, it will teach you how to read it." And so I immediately took a note in my writer's notebook that said, "I wonder if you read student writing carefully enough, that the student writing will teach you what the student needs to know." And that's where the idea came from for the title, What Student Writing Teaches Us. My book is broken down into a series of chapters based on a definition of formative assessment that looks at planning, self-assessment, and evaluation through the writing process. And when I first started writing the book, I was referring to a lot of different books. I was talking to a lot of different teachers, but I learned that I needed to talk to students about their own knowledge of themselves as writers. In kindergarten, what I learned was they felt this urgency about their writing because they wanted to show it to everybody. What I learned from the middle school students I talked to a lot, it really came down to a few key points for them. And one of them was they felt like it had to be clear. Another was they felt that the grades had to be fair, and we had lots of discussions about what that meant. But the biggest aha for me was they wanted time to make their writing better if they chose to. The other place I learned a lot from students is just watching. I have never in my career met a kindergarten teacher who week one, week two, didn't know everything there was to know about their writers. They knew who started writing right away, who needs a special pencil, who uses the word wall as a reference, who loves to talk to a partner before they write. I think sometimes in upper elementary, middle, and high school, we don't just watch our writers enough. Sometimes we just need to watch them while they're writing to learn who needs extra support, who gets started right away, who sits and is stuck and is stuck and is stuck. So if there's one thing I can think of that I would like you to take away from the book, it's that we can put aside the evaluative stance and not think of grading when we look at student work, but instead think of what student writing can teach us.